Today we are finally doing a YUKIMIYA focused video as I am going to analyze if he is a talented learner or a genius. The majority of you assumed he was a genius, and this video will give my opinion on the matter. So before that, join the Discord to keep up with me and other BlueLock fans as well, and I now have YouTube memberships if you want to help support the channel grow. If you can do any of the free tiers you desire, it should be on the screen or on the join button for you. Thanks Blue Fames and Raito6 for being members. If you broke, just subscribing and watching the video will do me a whole world of good as well. Now onto the video. So here's the video structure. We are going to explain what is a talented learner and a genius, as it will help me place YUKIMIYA in the right spot, as well as the world and self-style egos as they fall in line with them. To have some more fun, I will place his exact ego too. If you're already comfortable with all those terminologies and want to get to the main part of the video, you can click on this timestamp. You still with me? Okay, let's go. What is a talented learner? Psychologically also known as the left brain hemisphere. In Ego's words, but to present society, that innovation is never something that a genius can achieve on their own. Someone needs to discover the seed, comprehend its worth, and be able to communicate it to the world. By boosting its feasibility and reproducibility, they turn it into a new world standard. The ones who do that are talented learners. There are three key ways of identifying one. Is the first one being the easiest, which is metavision. It's the eye of the talented learners. I'm not going to waste my time explaining it in this video. However, since YUKIMIYA has not been able to show metavision due to being blind, I will give the other two key factors instead to understanding talented learners. The second one is if they are able to bring the best abilities out of a genius or discover a genius. The last way I use to detect talented learners is world style ego. What is world style ego? World style ego in simple terms is understanding your environment and calculating the world's essence. They prioritize values to the world. This style thrives in relation and their own feelings and sensitivity are less important than using their abilities in service of meetings and achievements valued by the rest of the world. Like isagi on rankings, trophies, and other sorts of achievements. In terms of scoring a goal, they analyze the heck out of it. What is a genius? Humans born with traits that others lack, have a hard time being understood, and live difficult lives. But that might be a gene that will cause humanity to evolve. There are some people who can cast those expressions out into the world, produce unique expressions of body and mind, those areas of differentiation. And amidst them, there are some revolutionary expressions which are suitable for the era and circumstances. These can change the world standards. The ones with those seeds are geniuses. Now, there are three key ways of discovering a genius, in my opinion. One is through abnormal psychology, which is focusing on the people who don't fit into the world standards, like schizophrenia for Bachura or destroyer mode for Rin. He's low-key autistic, I can't lie. And basically any type of right-brained people, as psychologically a genius falls under right-brained people, while left brain is talented learners. The second is abilities that can be replicated. Rail would have copied Chigui's speed if he could, as that would have made him unstoppable, but the speedsters were born lucky, so Rail couldn't copy that. He can't just copy Loki's speed. That's just a physical gene trait that Chigui was born with. The third is their lifestyle, depicted in chapter 254. They talk about admiring themselves when they score a goal due to personal pleasure. Do they want money, hate studying, enjoy video games? This to them are all secondary importance, and these spontaneous types can best use their abilities by immersing themselves in their own feelings and fixations. Now that we know, let's see why people think YUKIMIYA is a genius. Point number one, predator eyes. People think because other geniuses like Rin and Barou has predator eyes like YUKIMIYA, that this will make him a genius. And that's not the case, as Kaiser is a talented learner with predator eyes. Point number two, his blindness. Just because he is blind doesn't determine whether he is a talented learner or a genius. However, while we are on the subject of it, his optical nerve disease can never be fully repaired, which in theory makes YUKIMIYA getting metavision impossible. This may lead some people to think that makes him a genius. However, some talented learners like Hiragi and Itoshi Sai were shown to be talented learners, even without metavision. Point number 3, playstyle. So some people may think YUKIMIYA is a genius because of his playstyle. That consists of his very fast dribbling style, thanks to his natural physical speed, as he even did relay races in the past before soccer. He also learned 1v1 Emperor dribbling style when practicing playing football with a golden retriever named Cannavaro. I got this information from the light novel of YUKIMIYA from my good friend Leo, thanks to him. In the first selection, his playstyle was that of a genius, only trying to destroy his opponents and score by himself. The whole aspect of only relying on himself was so genius-like. In chapter 195, where he almost achieved that insane goal, was just so irrational. He was just so irrational that whole game because he desperately needed a goal to get a strong bid so he can make his case for staying on the starting 11 to make the top 23. Point number 4, character dynamics. In the third selection, he was only able to make a chemical reaction with Nagi due to his laid-back personality. In chapter 171, YUKIMIYA couldn't be rational when talking to Isagi, calling him worthless just because he didn't score. Isagi claimed in chapter 197 he wonders why he and YUKIMIYA can't see eye to eye. YUKIMIYA cools down from this irrational mental block after he scores. It was really cool to see YUKIMIYA have it because if it wasn't for Noah in chapters 157 and 199, Isagi could have had it too. In chapter 225, YUKIMIYA failed to pass to Isagi because Snuffy got in the way as he couldn't see the same path Isagi saw. In chapter 288, Isagi refers to him and Kaiser as the logical duo of the triangle, with YUKIMIYA being the destructive one in the triangle. However, that was because of his physical abilities, which shine to Isagi more than his intellect. However, thanks to Isagi, it's gonna make my talented learner side of things much harder to talk about. He calls YUKIMIYA another selfish genius. By adapting to his genius presence, his abilities get better. The last nail in the coffin is YUKIMIYA relating himself to Ness, saying him messing up for his own ideals, being Kaiser, is a cancer for the team. But unlike him, Ness's ego isn't connected to anyone's. Last fun fact, he did track before soccer, and his parents and coach saw worth that YUKIMIYA didn't see in himself, kind of like discovering a genius. Now for why I thought YUKIMIYA was a talented learner, here is why. I am not going to bring up him copying Chris's technique or him keeping up with Isagi in chapter 220, as those are things he could have done as a genius as well. Point number 1, character interactions. YUKIMIYA has been shown to always be trying to get the most rational explanations to things he doesn't appreciate, whether it would be why he wasn't ranked first, why Shido wasn't playing, or Isagi getting to start over him. Point number 2, NEL choice. YUKIMIYA isn't someone who picks off of the vibes. He would actually put a good amount of thought into the country he would choose to continue playing football with. So joining Munchen, the team that focuses on the most logical and rational approaches to football, showed he wanted to embrace his talented learner side. And to him, he may have also thought since there was there he can learn from the best in the world. But YUKIMIYA learned a harsh lesson, and 10 days later, never meet your heroes. Point number 3, YUKIMIYA's playstyle changed immensely once Isagi exploited his flaws and almost pulled out a performance way above his current skill, which did happen to Nagi. In the Ubers game, he played a very logical game and wasn't opposed to passing anymore. Against PXG, YUKIMIYA pulled off a play of high IQ when he used Isagi as a body shield against Karasu, something Isagi did to YUKIMIYA twice after learning Metavision. Point number 4, intelligence. In school, he was always receiving the highest grades, just like Rail. And ever since learning about his optical nerve disease, we have been shown that he studies soccer tactics. In high school, he was always focused on being the best in the world and winning nationals. Those are things that are built along the world-style ego, and talented learners would have a world-style ego. YUKIMIYA takes his achievements very well too. He was very focused on the achievement of his bid for Ajax. YUKIMIYA seems immersed in his studies, and geniuses have been shown to hate studying. None of his abilities make him a genius, as any European or Brazilian can learn his dribbling style. Gyro shot can be done pretty easily, as shown by Whale copying it on the first try. So now to answer the question, is he a talented learner or a genius? If you take Isagi's words 100% to heart, he is a genius. But if you think Isagi was wrong, just like he was wrong with Kaiser, then he is a genius. As from outside Isagi's knowledge, he doesn't know the world-style ego crisis Yukimiya has been through academically, on the field and off the field. If he is a genius, he is a freedom self-style, as they are geniuses who can establish their ideas, create their own game plans. They find it easier to display their abilities on a free environment. This relates to the current Yukimiya. Before Isagi came along, it would have been a restrictive self-style, as he was always fixated on the rules and roles, then putting a lot of effort to deal with his optical nerve disease being his constraint. He always found it better to display his abilities in a restrictive environment, being his 1v1 nature. If he is a talented learner like I believe, he is no longer a freedom restrictive style, for reasons mentioned above. He is a freedom world style egoist. This is a fictional story, so even though in real life his optical nerve disease can't be fully healed, the way Ajax is implementing, trying to keep it stable or maybe even improve it a little bit, may make Yukimiya a freer man than he is currently. Anyways, I'm probably wrong since most world self-style egoists like Chigiri, Bachira, and Shida all have good spatial awareness like talented learners, but play in a style where they decide to find a play and rely solely on their talents to do so. Yeah, this video did not go how I expected, honestly. There's a 99% chance he's a genius. I really saw it in this video. Anyways, next video should be a versus battle, so stay blessed. Suki out.